church. What a blessed day it is today, isn't it? It's a day that God has made, and He's granted us grace already this morning. I'm sure many of you have heard about the Supreme Court decision for the state yesterday. It came out late yesterday afternoon. And so today we wanted to give you an update on that and what that means for us as a church. And I figured that it would be better to bring that to you via video. It gives it a more personal touch rather than you just having to listen or read a bunch of words that I type out on an email today. I do have some notes in my hand, and I'll be referring to them just to guide me through this time, make sure I get everything down that I needed to say. As you know, yesterday the Supreme Court decided that the executive branch's decision to extend the stay-at-home order until the 26th of May was unlawful. There has been, with that, a lot of mixed messages about what is and is not allowed in the coming days, and even when the stay-at-home order ends. As of last night, we were reading that the stay-at-home order was actually extended until the 20th of May. Now today we're hearing reports that as of this morning, the stay-at-home order is completely done with. And so we're trying to figure out what's going on there. And so we've been reading a lot of reports, we've been reading a lot of emails, trying to get the information that we need for just what that means for us as a church. So I've divided kind of our information this morning into three sections. What we need to know, what our response is, and then some things to remember. And so let's just walk through those things this morning so that you're informed about what we know. Here's what we know right now. As I said, as of right now, per what we've read, the stay-at-home order is completely done with. Businesses and people are able to return back to normal activities. Now, while that sounds simple and straightforward, it's actually not. There's still a lot of confusion about what guidelines are still in place. There's still a lot of confusion about whether or not even the stay-at-home order is done with. And so we're keeping our ears close to the track, trying to figure out what exactly is happening right now. And then we know there's been a lot of turmoil in the last 24 hours. Some counties throughout the state are continuing, this is what else we know, continuing their stay-at-home order as local governments decide to keep it in effect until the 26th of May. Brown County, Dane County, Milwaukee County, and I think Racine County as well, there may be some others, are continuing that stay-at-home order until the 26th of May. And so things won't change much there. Third thing, many places are operating based on the guidelines yet. I was actually at a hospital last night. I had to drive an ambulance there, and we know as of last night, hospitals are still not allowing visitors in. My guess, and remember this is just a guess, that it is going to take some time for local businesses as well as our big box stores to respond to what's going on. My guess is that places like Menards, you're still going to have to wear masks. Other places that have been requiring or had rules in place about which aisles you can travel down and which way you're supposed to go and other things of going in and out of the store, I would imagine that those things are still going to be in place for some time yet as the corporate leaders of those organizations make decisions. So just be aware of that. Sheboygan County in particular, I know, met late yesterday, and they're also meeting again today to discuss this recent Supreme Court decision, to discuss what they as a county have as a part of their pre-plan. They had that actually in place before any of this happened. And so they're weighing all of those things together before they make a decision and recommendations. Maybe that'll be out today. I really don't know. My guess is that within the next couple of days, though, we'll probably be hearing something from them. And we are monitoring that information closely because it will likely have some bearing on us as a church. So that's what we know right now. What's our response in all of this? Well, as Psalm 28 verse 7 and Isaiah 41:10 tell us, and it has been from the beginning, our trust is in the Lord. And as Proverbs 3:5-7 and James 1:5 tell us, we are seeking the Lord's wisdom in our leading in this time. These are new days to us. These are things that we have never been through before as a church, as leadership. And so we're seeking the Lord's wisdom as to how to proceed, not just from a spiritual standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint, considering people's health as well. Which we do need to be considerate of. Acts chapter 20, verse 28, and Psalm 2:3-4 tell us that, to be considerate of one another and to care for our flock. And we do that not just on a spiritual level, but a physical level as well. And additionally to that, of being obedient to his word. Remember, Paul says in Romans chapter 13, verses 1 and 2, to submit to the government. And so we want to be careful that we're doing that, being respectful of that in this time. Titus chapter 3, verse 1 tells us about that as well. And so we want to pay attention to the mandates. Remember, these are considering our health and well-being. They're not prohibiting us from preaching presently. And so we want to keep those things in mind. So we're trying to weigh all of those things out in the balance right now, and keeping those things together. As of this morning, as of right now, we emailed this morning, the board did. Our plan is to continue with the online services coming Sunday, May 17th. This is going to allow us a couple of things. First, time to process the present situation and the new guidelines that will likely be coming out from the county here in the coming days. It gives us some time to grab all of that information together, and then to process that and to make our own decisions on what to do as a church. Second thing is that we actually started a project in the gym this week. So there's some things that are ripped apart in the gym right now, so giving us this extra week of time should help us to make some headway on that and hopefully get it in a good place as we're back together again. Remember, we're probably going to have to rearrange some of the seating. My guess is that with the days ahead, there's probably going to still be some guidelines, and we'll have to keep those things into consideration. The church board, the elders and deacons, will be meeting on Tuesday next week at 4:30 p.m. To discuss our plans of how and when to reopen. And so we ask that you'd be praying for us. Pray that as we take all of these things into consideration, that God would give us wisdom as leaders. Thinking about what our state is saying, what our local governments are saying, but also our people as well, and finding something, the best possible reopening plan, both for the health of our congregation and for our community as well. Third thing this morning, please remember a few things here. As I said earlier, this is completely new territory for us as leaders, for us as a church, and even for us on other levels as a community and as a nation. I saw in the sounder here, it was last week or the week before, about reports, back to the early 1900s of something similar going on and their responses to it. And so there's a generation that has dealt with that, but where we are at right now, we've not dealt with anything like this before in our time period. And so it's new to us. And as we meet on Tuesday to make decisions, understand that there will likely be tweaks to those decisions as we move along through the summer months here. And so just be aware of that. There was a beatitude that I heard from someone a while back. It says this: "Blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape." And we appreciate your flexibility and your patience with us, and we covet your prayers as we navigate really these new waters for us as leadership and as a church in the days ahead. We want to thank you, though, for your prayers and your patience already in this time as we consider the health and well-being of those who call Grace Bible Church home. As we consider the various opinions and thoughts about the issues at hand, as we as well respond to the state and local mandates and guidelines along with it. That is a lot of stuff to consider and to put together at this time. So please be praying for us and have patience with us as we go about this in the coming days. I want to encourage you, though, to praise God, though. With everything that is going on, our online outreach has expanded immensely. And I'm sure there's other churches that could say that as well. We continue to hear, I know from our own contacts, about people that are watching our online services, that are catching the vlogs presently. And so we look forward really to hearing in the coming days and months and even the year on how God has used this time, these last couple of months, to impact not only our local community, but our nation as well. I know particularly there are people watching our stuff at Grace Bible Church that are spread out throughout the United States. And so how we look forward to seeing how God has used this time to reach people in a new way. We know that this time, these past couple of months, this virus, everything that's going on is a part of God's good plan, is for His good purposes and for His greater glory. And I can't emphasize that enough. All right? Please understand that. There's confusion, there's fear. We wonder, really, but God is good. All right? We can never doubt that. The Scriptures tell us that. And we understand that He is working things that are far beyond our own finite minds, even through this time, for His greater glory. And we trust Him in that. As I said earlier, we look forward to hearing how God has worked in your life and in the lives of others that you might know in these past couple of months and in these days presently. Not just inside the church, but also outside the church as well. If you have any questions, please be sure to contact us, contact one of the elders or deacons, contact Pastor Paul or myself. We'll try to answer them. We don't have a lot of information right now, but we'll do our best that we can to help answer any questions that you might have. After Tuesday, again, this next week as we meet, we'll probably have some more answers that we can give you. And remember that we are still doing our virtual online service on Sunday. So please tune in for that. Please like and share those videos as well. That has an immense impact on reaching people online. And so please be sure to do that on Facebook and on YouTube, or email it to people as well. So on behalf of the Grace Bible Church elders and deacons, just wanted to say that we love you, we miss you, and we look forward to seeing you again. God bless.